Hi, Dr. Lisa Gilbert here today with another episode of Pearls of Wisdom. This is number 4, and today the topic is the nature of healing. I want to talk about the structure of healing and what it looks like, because a lot of people think that it's linear, that you do some work and that you get better and then it's this, but that's not how it works. It's actually a spiral. The fact is that we come around again and again to the same event or types of events in our life, especially the most prominent ones, like a prominent tragic trauma, or even just very impactful, large events. Whether it be your mom issue or your abandonment issue or your divorce issue, whatever that major issue is, it's going to come back many times in your life. And you need to do things that help you move along so that you change before the next time it shows up. And I like to put this as a diagram of a spiral. And the issue, if this was the face of a clock, the issue is at 12 o'clock in the orange marks here. And your healing, instead of a straight line, goes around in a spiral. And you see how some of the winds are tight, and then there'll be a jump, like a quantum jump, and then some more tight winds, and then another quantum jump. Those quantum jumps represent major endeavors that you have done to make a significant change in who you are and how you understand the world, possibly even worldview changing events can make those big quantum changes. The littler ones, those tend to be, maybe you don't even think they're doing anything and get frustrated. And I'm here to say that those consistent and persistent events that you engage in actually build upon themselves. Maybe you think of it as tightening a spring, and it's not quite there, and then suddenly you do that one thing. Oh, I did equine therapy, and pop, it pops, and you get that quantum jump. Now, was it the equine therapy, or was it all the winding that took place before, where you participated in EMDR and you went on a health retreat, or whatever those other events were that didn't seem to be doing anything? I would say look at them more carefully. They're probably laying the groundwork for you to be ready to make that big hop. If you don't do the consistent, even sometimes daily practices of, health and well-being, you're losing an opportunity, and things aren't going to change as easily. Now, let me do it a little differently. I like to tell a story about kids riding dirt bikes. Dirt bikes are loud and noisy, and they go around on fields or wherever. And imagine the kids are riding around on a hill, and they're riding over and over and over in the same loop on this big hill. Well, over time, that hill, it wears down, the weeds are gone, the rocks are gone, and now you've got a fast track going really fast. So the kids are really having a good time. But then the owner of the property, the old farmer, comes out and says, "You kids, get off my hill, stay off my hill." So the kids have to leave, and they go to the back of the hill and they ride back there. But it's bumpy, and there's mounds of dirt, and there's rocks, and there's sticks, and they don't like it as much. So they put a lookout. And as soon as the farmer goes in, what do? Zip, they come back to the fast track, go play out there some more. Now imagine that farmer pulls out his lawn chair and parks it in front of his hill and keeps the kids off there 24/7. What happens to the hill? Well, the rocks start to fall, the weeds start to grow, and pretty soon, over time, you can't even tell that there was a dirt track there. And equally, the change on the back of the hill, if the kids continue riding in the same groove back there, they will develop a fast track on the back side of the hill. So now you have an image of what neurophysiology is. Your brain has tracks and can get stuck, and it will continue to stay in that until you move it and develop a new track. So if you think of it as your PTSD track. Now, if you don't you have to be the farmer. You have to chase yourself off of that track. You have to break habits and keep yourself from doing the things that is keeping your brain on that track. Some of the very common things are like watching too much news. News is geared to get people riled up, to keep them engaged. But if you have PTSD, your radar is too sensitive, too big, and that much input, that much stimulation, that much engagement is too much. And it tends to keep the PTSD circuit going. So now you're just reinforcing that circuit. Take a break from the news. Take a break from the things that tie into your PTSD, or whatever your circuit is, whether it be an OCD circuit, whatever the circuit is that keeps playing over and over and keeping you stuck. You have to be that farmer consistently and chasing yourself off of those thoughts, that thought process, so that you develop the new loop, the new neuro loop in your brain. And it takes time, just like the hill takes time to recover from the dirt bikes. So your brain also needs time to develop that new circuitry. So, for someone who loves sports and loves getting riled up and getting into the excitement, doing those quiet, boring endeavors wasn't very appealing. And yet, I realized that some of that escalated adrenaline would be keeping me on that track. Doing endeavors, going hiking, working with right brain activities, painting, um, things that will change the nature of your brain will feel awkward at first. They might be boring, they might be uninteresting. But if you continue to give it time, suddenly it'll develop a new track and things will shift. And then you will experience those quantum jumps, like I showed in my diagram, so that you will then be very aware of your healing and how much change you have made over time, because you've done both, the consistent work, daily, weekly, even monthly, whatever those activities are, and then also chosen to do something to do some major changes. Like, in a big one that's talked about a lot these days is psychedelic assisted psychotherapy. I hope people don't think it's the golden bullet that's going to just fix everything, because that's not quite how it works. That endeavor is on top of all the other endeavors you've done before, and you may need to do a few endeavors afterwards, but they consistently show that big jump of a significant change, utilizing that particular endeavor. So again, just to sum this up, I want to say that it is important to understand that the nature of healing is truly a spiral, and that the issues will unfortunately continue to come back in your life. The key is that you need to be different before it shows up again and again. So I hope this was helpful and gives you some motivation to do both the bigger and smaller healing endeavors in your life, and be consistent and more accepting of the ones that feel, less engaging, and understand that each one has a component that will help you be the farmer and chase your thoughts into the back of the hill and develop a new pattern, a new neurophysiological pattern from the one that you've been stuck with and plagued with. That's the reason why you're listening to this video. So hopefully, again, you will find these little talks useful. I hope you come back. I hope you visit my website, www.soulcanu.com, and I wish you well. Thank you.